For this Pygmalion film project, you will see Alex Eichberger as Eliza, Brandon Lehmann as Higgins, and Kristy Baker as Mrs. Higgins. Our scene is Scene 6, The Reckoning. Within this scene, you see Eliza struggle with gender roles, social status, and the need for affection. Higgins transitions between the role of a supporting character and the role of an antagonist. While trying to explain how he sees the world, Higgins realizes how much he will actually miss Eliza. Eliza realizes that to be her own person, she must follow her own path without Higgins.
Well, Eliza, you've had a bit of your own back, as you would call it. Have you had enough? Are you going to be reasonable, or do you want any more?
You want me back only to pick up your slippers and put up with your tempers and fetch and carry for you.
Said that I wanted to take you back at all.
Oh, indeed. Then what are we talking about?
You, not about me. If I do take you back, my nature and my manners are not going to change, mind you. They're going to remain the same as they always have, the exact same manners, might I add, that Colonel Pickering has.
That's not true. He treats a flower girl as if she was a duchess.
And I treat a duchess as if she was a flower girl.
I see. The same to everyone.
Just so.
Like father.
Without accepting the comparison, Eliza, your father is not exactly a snob. Pretty sure he'll be happy at any station in life which his eccentric destiny may lead him. The great secret, Eliza, is not having bad manners or good manners or any other particular sort of manners, but having the same manner for all human souls. In short, behaving as if they were in heaven where there are no third-class carriages and one soul is as good as another.
Oh, man. You're a born preacher.
The question is not whether I treat you rudely, but whether you have seen me treat anyone better.
I don't care how you treat me. I don't mind you swearing at me. I don't mind a black eye. I've had one of those before. But I won't be passed over.
Well then get out of my way, for I'd have no intention on stopping for you. You're treating me like I'm a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus. All bounce and go and no consideration for anyone, but I can do without you. Don't think I can't.
I know you can. I told you you could.
I know you did, you brute. You wanted to get rid of me.
Liar.
Thank you.
You never asked yourself, I suppose, whether I could do without you.
Don't you try to get around me. You'll have to do without me.
I can do without anyone. I have my own spark of divine fire, but I shall miss you, Eliza. I have learned something from your idiotic notions. I confess that humbly and gratefully. I've also grown accustomed to your voice and your appearance. I like them, rather.
Well, you have both of them on your gramophone and in your book of photographs. When you feel lonely without me, you can turn the machine on. It's got no feelings to hurt.
But I can't turn your soul on. Leave me those feelings. You could take away the voice and the face. They are not you.
Oh, you are the devil. You can twist the heart of a girl and as easy as someone could twist her arms to hurt her. Mrs. Pierce warned me. Time and time again she wanted to leave you and you always got round her at the last minute. And you don't care a bit for her, and you don't care a bit for me.
I care for life and for humanity, and you are a part of it which has come into my world and been built into my house. What more could you or anyone else ask for?
I won't care for anybody who doesn't care for me.
Commercial principles, Eliza, like, yawling toilets, isn't it?
Don't sneer at me. It's mean to sneer at me.
I have never sneered in my life. Sneering doesn't become either the human face or the human soul. I'm expressing my righteous contempt for commercialism. I don't and won't trade in affection. You call me a brute because you couldn't buy a claim on me by fetching my slippers and finding my spectacles. You are a fool. I think a woman fetching a man's slippers is a disgusting sight. Did I ever fetch your slippers? I think a good deal more for you for throwing them in my face. Are you slaving for me and then saying you want to be cared for? Who cares for a slave? If you come back for the sake of good fellowship, for you'll get nothing else. If you've had 1,000 times as much out of me as I've had out of you, and if you dare to set up your little dog's tricks of carrying and fetching and carrying my slippers against my creation of a Duchess Eliza, I'll slam the door in your silly face.
What did you do it for if you didn't care for me?
Why? Because it was my job.
You never thought of the trouble it would make for me.
Would the world have ever even been made if its maker had been afraid of making trouble? You see, Eliza, making life means making trouble. And the only way to escape from the trouble is by killing people. Do you not notice that thousands of people always crying out, all these cowards, for people who are supposed to be killed?
I'm not a preacher. I don't notice things like that. I notice that you don't notice me.
Eliza, you're an idiot. I'm wasting the treasure of my platonic mind spreading them before you. Oh, once for all, I understand that I go my way and do not my work without caring two pence about what happens to either of us. I'm not intimidated like your father and your stepmother, so you have two options here. Basically, you have two options. Go back or go to the devil. I don't care which.
What am I to come back for?
What a fun of it! Isn't that why I took you on in the first place?
And you may throw me out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to do?
Yes, and you may as well walk out if I don't do everything you don't want me to do.
And live with my stepmother?
Yeah, or sell flowers.
Oh, if only I could go back to my flower basket. I should be independent of both you and father and all the world. Why did you take my independence from me? Why did I give it up? I'm a slave now, for all my fine clothes.
Not a bit. I'll adopt you as my daughter and settle money on you if you like. Or perhaps you could marry Colonel Pickering.
I wouldn't marry you if you asked me. And you're nearer my age than what he is.
It's than he is, not than what he is.
I'll talk as I like! You're not my teacher now!
I don't suppose Pickering would, though, either. I mean, he's as confirmed more battle as I am.
That's not what I want, and you know it. Don't you think it? I've always had chaps enough wanting me that way. Freddie Hill writes to me twice and 3 times a day. Sheets and sheets.
Damn his impudence!
He has the right to if he likes, poor lad. And he does love me.
You have no right to encourage him.
Every girl has the right to be loved.
What, by fools like that?
Freddie's not a fool. And if he's weak and poor and wants me, maybe he'd make me happier than someone who bullies me and doesn't want me.
Yes, but what can he make of you? That's the point.
Perhaps I could make something of him, but I never saw us making anything of one another, and that's all you care about. I only want to be natural.
In short, you want me to be as infatuated about you as Freddie is.
No, I don't. That's not the sort of feelings I want from you. And don't be too sure of yourself or of me. I could have been a bad girl if I'd liked. I've seen more of some things than you, for all your learning. Girls like me can drag gentlemen down and make love to them easy enough. Then they run away the next minute.
Well, of course they do. Then what the bloody hell are we arguing about?
I want a little kindness. I know I'm a common, ignorant girl, and you a book-learning gentleman, but I'm not dirt under your feet. What I did, was not for the dresses and the taxes. I did it because we were pleasant together, and I came to care for you. And not to want you to make love to me, and not forgetting the difference between us, but more friendly-like.
Well, of course. That's exactly how I and Pickering feel. Nothing more.
That's not a proper answer to give me.
Well, that's all you're gonna get until you stop being such a common idiot. If you want to be a lady, you can't spend your time feeling neglected if the guys you know spend half the time sniveling over you and the other half giving you black eyes.
If you can't stand the coldness of my sort of life and the strain of it, go back to the gutter. Work into a more brute than a human being, and then cuddle and squabble and drink until you fall asleep. It's a fine life, the life of the gutter. It's real, it's warm, it's violent. You can feel it through the thickest skin. You can taste it and smell it without even training or any work. It's like science and literature and classical music and philosophy and art. You find me cold, unfeeling, and selfish, don't you? Very well. Be off with you to the sort of people you like. Marry some sentimental hog or some other with lots of money. And a thick pair of lips to kiss you with, a thick pair of boots to kick you with. If you can't appreciate what you've got, you'd better do with what you can appreciate.
Oh, you are a cruel tyrant. I can't talk to you. You turn everything against me. I'm always in the wrong. But you know very well all the time you're nothing but a bully. You know I can't go back to the gutter, as you call it. That I have no real friends in the world but you and the Colonel. You know well I couldn't bear to live with a low common man after you. And it's wicked and cruel of you to insult me by pretending I could. You think I must go back to the Wimple Street, because I have nowhere else to go but father's. But don't you be too sure that you have me under your feet, and be trampled on and talked down. I'll marry Freddie, I will, as soon as he's able to support me.
Oh, rubbish. You shall marry an ambassador, the Governor General of India, or the Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, or someone who wants a deputy queen. I would not have my masterpiece and all my hard work squandered on someone like Freddie.
You think I'd like you to say that, but I haven't forgotten what you said a minute ago. You think I can be coaxed around like a baby or a puppy, but if I can't have kindness, I'll have independence.
Independence? That's middle-class blasphemy. We're all dependent on one another. Every soul on earth.
You'll see whether I'm dependent on you. If you can preach, I can teach. I'll be a teacher.
And you'll teach what exactly?
What you taught me. I'll teach phonetics.
Ha!
I'll teach as an assistant to Professor Neopon.
What? That imposter, that humbug, that damned ignoramus? You're gonna teach him my methods, my discoveries. I swear to God, you take one step in his direction, I will wring your neck, do you hear?
Ring away! What do I care? I knew you'd strike me someday. Now I know how to deal with you. What a fool I was not to think of it before. You can't take away the knowledge you gave me.
You said I had a finer ear than you, and I can be civil and kind to people, which is more than you can. And that's done you, Henry Higgins. It has. Now I don't care that for your bullying and big talk. I'll advertise it in the papers that your Duchess is only a flower girl, that you taught, and that she'll teach anybody to be a duchess. Just the same in 6 months for 1,000 guineas. Oh, when I think of myself crawling under your feet and being trampled on and calling names, when all the time I had only to lift up my finger to be as good as you, I could just kick myself.
You bloody impudent slut, you! But it's better than sniveling, better than fetching slippers and finding spectacles, isn't it? By George, Eliza, I said I would make a strong woman out of you, and I have. I like you like this.
Yes. You make up to me now that I'm not afraid of you and can do without you.
To me, 5 minutes ago, you were a weak millstone on your neck, and now you are a strong tower. And now it'll just be 3 old bachelors instead of 2 men and a silly girl.
Carriage is waiting, Eliza. Are you ready? What? Is the professor coming?
Certainly not. He can't behave himself in church. He makes remarks out loud all the time of the clergyman's pronunciation.
Then I shall not see you again, Professor. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Mother. Oh, by the way, Eliza, order a ham and a Stilton cheese, will you? And buy me a pair of reindeer gloves, number 8s, and a tie to match that new shoes of mine. Add eel and bindless. You can choose the color.
Buy them yourself.
I'm afraid you spoiled that girl, Henry, but never mind. I'll buy you the tie gloves.
Oh, don't worry about it, Mother. She'll buy it more soon enough.